Okay, welcome back to Symbioism, and I want to dig into a little more detail than we did in the last video in regards to the overall fundamental foundation of Symbioism, the 5 pillars that it rests on, and just starting from the very beginning. So the very beginning of this philosophy depends on the axiom, and an axiom is self-evidentiary statement. Like, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, And obviously when you sit there and you kind of ponder that statement, you want to think, well, yeah, all men should be treated equally. We all want to think of ourselves as equals, and that some aren't above us and that we're not below others. That's kind of the idea, that America is not to be this class of elite wealthy people and this lower class, that we're all to be considered equally, that the justice system serves us equally across the board. It's not in favor of the wealthy class, where the poor people are just kind of someone who doesn't really care as a public defender. So obviously we've kind of strayed off course a bit from those kinds of axioms in regards to the principles that America is found on. But I'll save that for another video, because today we're going to be dealing with the axioms that symbioism is founded on. And the primary axiom of symbioism is the following statement: existence exists in this moment. So this statement is a self-evidential claim. The contemplation, that they're reading it and contemplating its contents, becomes the proof for the assertion that it makes. Your consciousness engaging that statement, existence exists, well, yeah, it must. I'm reading those words, right? In this moment. Yeah, I'm doing this in this moment right now. Yeah, my consciousness is potent to sit there and know that I'm perceiving and reading these words right now in this moment. Now, what that does, it establishes as a primary the potency of your own consciousness, its interaction with reality, your perceptions, and it's a proof. It's the proof for that fact, that it's an undeniable proof, and it's not like some kind of circular reasoning. You're really providing the evidence for that assertion. If you were a scientist and you were doing an experiment, that's kind of the experiment. Well, does existence exist in this moment? Okay, well, let me see. I'll read that statement. Existence exists in this moment. Okay, yeah, that kind of does prove it, doesn't it? All right, so it's kind of like you're laying out the experiment, but you're also being the scientist at the same time, and you're going, okay, yeah, the data and the facts are in. Yes, existence exists in this moment. I think that's something we can all agree on. What that lays as the foundation is the potency of your own mind's relationship with reality. That leads to the field of epistemology, of the science of how do we know what we know, how do we know it's valid, what's our system of criteria of judging something as whether it's valid or invalid. Is it just kind of something that I feel instinctually, or is it something like gravity, where I can go out into my front yard and I can take a ball, I can toss it up in the air, I can catch it, and I know, gee, I don't really have to sit there and depend on some other scientific study about gravity, because I can go and I can throw something up in the air and I watch it fall to the ground. And not only that, but the rules of reality, and why gravity has become a law, is that I know that I can count on it to work every time, that we conceptually, fundamentally understand how it works. We know that a collection of mass has an attraction to other smaller mass, and why the planets orbit around the sun, why our moon goes around the earth, because gravity is creating this force of attraction, and it keeps us stuck to the planet. So that's not something I have to sit there and I have to consult in some ancient text, nor do I have to poll the population of America to see whether gravity exists or not. I don't have to tune into my media station and consult with a higher authority. I don't have to look to a pope or the preacher at my church to know whether this is true or not. And I only need to rely on the potency of my own mind and its relationship with reality, beginning with the axiom, existence exists in this moment. So I know for a fact that my mind is potent to know firsthand. I don't need to be an intellectual second-hander in terms of how I proceed to construct my own reality step by step as we're going to go through this process with symbioism. And the process, what's going to happen, it's going to firmly ground your mind to the axiomatic roots and primaries of reality and your relationship with reality, establishing that accurately, and also giving you some context and scientific facts to be thinking about as you develop this, what in essence is a virtual model of reality you're going to be holding in your mind that gives you kind of a comparison. So when you have information coming at you from the internet, from the media, you're going to sit there and you're going to go, well, does this fit the model that I have in my mind? And you're going to go, does that really serve us or not? Is this a good idea? Does this conflict? Someone's telling me I can just jump off a cliff and fly. I know that for a fact that he's telling me a lie. I'm not going to have to consult some external source or need to be externally led by some other group or authority to know the truth that I'm being lied to. It conflicts with my self-evidentiary model of reality that we're going to be building with you step by step. And this won't even be my opinion. You're going to sit there and you're going to go, well, gee, you can go out in the yard, take a ball, toss it in the air. What's going to happen? That doesn't depend on what I'm telling you right now. The statement existence exists in this moment. That doesn't depend on me telling you that's the truth. You're going to sit there and you're going to ponder it. The only thing that that's going to require, though, is that you be intellectually honest. Now, that's something I can't do for you. You can sit there and evade the statement. You can think it just doesn't mean anything and this is a bunch of hogwash. That's your choice. That's kind of where virtue is actually going to emerge in our philosophy, whether someone is going to be honest or not. That is honesty. Intellectual honesty is the highest virtue in the philosophy of symbioism. A lot of other philosophies, that's not the highest virtue, So this might be in conflict to that end. But our ideology, this is not really about us, A lot of the ideologies that exist right now are to meet our emotional needs. And this philosophy, while it integrates the fact that we have emotional needs and it comes up with systems for us to meet those needs, a lot of the existing ideologies that are out there will do that job just fine. We're not looking at trying to take that away from you. Like if you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, you're a Hindu, Buddhist, this really doesn't need to be in conflict with your existing systems of thinking. What we're hoping to bring here is a template that this can kind of lay over the top and help you to put your priorities in order in a way that's going to unite the whole human species. That we're going to see that as a higher value, us wanting to build a world that works in harmony, not only with one another, not only with all the humans on this planet, but with all life on this earth as well, because we're actually axiomatically in an interdependent relationship with other life on this planet. It's not my opinion that you need oxygen to breathe in order to continue living. We have plenty of examples, and I'm sure you've witnessed plenty of examples of people who've had their air supply cut off and they can't breathe any longer and they drowned. This is not, an outrageous claim on my part, but obviously if we kill all the plankton in the ocean and we cut down all the rainforests, I think it's kind of a ridiculous concept for us to think that we're going to be able to continue as a species on this planet. And just because our emotions and our feelings tell us that everything will be okay, I think we can make a judgment that that is in conflict with what we axiomatically know. So that's why axioms are important. We're actually going to be deriving 3 corollary axioms from the initial axiom, existence exists in this moment, that our entire foundation rests on. This kind of expands on the Buddhist concept that only this now moment exists, but kind of combining it with Aristotle's A is A, which is also another axiom, that an apple is an apple. Apples can't be an orange too. Those words actually relate to objects in reality, that an apple has a specific causality on reality. It tastes like an apple. It doesn't taste like an orange, and your senses correspond to that object. So this is really important. A lot of this stuff, I know it seems really kind of stupidly simple, but it's really actually super important, because what we're establishing is grounding our mind conceptually, philosophically, to objective reality. And that, to me, is going to be one of the most important undertakings that every individual on this planet can be doing. So I hope you share this channel. I'm going to cut this short. That's going to be, we're just covering axioms right now. Google up axioms, study up on what it is, and carry that concept forward. I want to lay this foundation point by point by point as we grow in our progression in this training. And so if there's any questions about axioms, post them below, and we'll get into more detail. But the next video, we're going to be covering the 3 corollary axioms that we derive from that primary axiom, and I'm going to be doing that in the next video. So stay tuned, and thanks again. Consider becoming a founding member, and share this website on your social media, and spread the word. And namaste from India, and may humanity